Good evening, everyone. I believe we're going to get the evening started now. So once again, let me welcome everyone to the wedding of Sarah Hart and Michael Lewis. First, I wanted to say, Sarah, you look absolutely beautiful this evening. Mike, your wife looks absolutely beautiful this evening. You look pretty sharp yourself, dude, so that's fine, but Sarah's definitely stealing the show. There's one other thing I just needed to go over for housekeeping, of course, before we get started. As probably most of you know, Sarah's a lawyer. Mike's also a lawyer. A lot of the friends, including myself, are lawyers. That means there are going to likely be an above average amount of lawyer jokes this evening. I trust all of you read the fine print on your invitations. However, I feel it incumbent upon me to remind everybody that by your attendance here this evening, you provided your consent to be subjected to those jokes and are now contractually obligated to laugh at least my jokes. I don't know if anyone else will have some, but if you don't, there may be legal action taken against you. I'm just throwing it out there. As lawyers can attest, just everyone please govern yourselves accordingly. For those of you that don't know me, I'm going to say it's probably about 95% of you. I am a friend of both Sarah Lewis and Michael Lewis, and I'm actually the reason why everyone's here this evening. I was the person who introduced them to each other. So thank you very much. I will take full credit for all of this. I first met Sarah back in 2015 when we attended Lakehead Law School together. Now, our law school was a little different than a lot of other law schools. It was a smaller cohort. There was maybe about 60 of us. They had separated us into two different sections. I was in one section, Sarah was in the other. So during our first year, each section, most of our schedules were pretty much similar, and then the other section had an opposite schedule. So Sarah and I didn't have a lot of classes together during that first year. But probably the first time I realized that I really wanted to be friends with Sarah was the first time that I saw her CC'd on an email. shart3@lakeheadu.ca. Now, generally, it may seem like a good idea when you're trying to set up somebody's email address to use their first initial and their last name. Sometimes it's a good idea. Other times, pure magic. For someone like myself, who's a little older and a dad and loves dad jokes, this is pure gold. shart3@lakeheadu.ca. I don't know what's funnier, whether it was that her new professional law school email started with Shart, or that she was actually the third Shart at Lakehead. One thing I knew that if anybody could pull off that email, it was Sarah. If it was me personally, I would have been probably too embarrassed to go on. I may have considered dropping out of law school, maybe looked at a different profession, I don't know, medicine, maybe a proctologist or something. That probably would have fit a little bit better. Not Sarah, she toughed it out. And despite that unfortunate email handle, she continued on with her legal education, and over the next few years, we became very close friends. Now, law school wasn't all fun and games. Some of it was really tough, and the one thing that Sarah probably struggled most with throughout law school, well, other than pronunciation, yes, you're still having a little trouble with that. Also, proper wording. So I'm sure everyone picked up on it, but I feel like I pointed out again. Infidelity is not the word to use during your vows. I think most people caught that when she said it at first, and well, yeah. Mike rolled with it though, so hey, I don't know. It's 2021. I mean, whatever floats your boat, yeah. Anyway, what Sarah probably struggled with most throughout law school was finding herself a boyfriend. And apparently, this is where I came in. For some odd reason, Sarah thought a 40-something-year-old married man with 2 kids was the go-to resource for finding her a guy. I'm not sure exactly why that was, but she came to me and she set me to the task. I thought about what kind of guy Sarah would like. Obviously, she wanted somebody really handsome. So immediately I thought of my younger brother. Lucky kid, looks just like me. Unfortunately, he was married already, so who then? Well, as luck would have it, I just happened to be working with a young eligible bachelor at the law firm where I'm at, Erickson's LLP. Anyone needs a will or something like that, feel free to give me a shout. But that would be, what was it? Yeah, for sure, yeah. But that was Michael Lewis. I'd known Mike for probably a year, maybe 2 years at this point. I always liked him. He's a smart, quiet, funny guy, hardworking, I guess kind of good looking. I don't know, he's not really my type, but I can see why Sarah's attracted to him. But anyway, he was there grinding away in his office day after day, working for one of the partners at our firm who, I'm not sure how I should describe him, Mike, but he's not here, so I guess I can, he's a little odd. But I figured if Mike could put up with him day after day, he'd have a pretty good shot at putting up with Sarah. So I asked him if he'd like me to set him up with one of the girls from my class, and he seemed eager. The plan was really simple. Every Friday night, a group of us from school would go out to blow off a little bit of steam after a busy week, and so I invited Mike to meet us there after a few drinks, or for a few drinks. Mike was a bit hesitant at first, but he agreed to swing by. That was after the baseball game ended, of course. There's certainly no rush, and nothing should interrupt that. So there we were at the bar. I'm pretty sure it was myself. There was Sarah, of course, Jessica Alves, one of the bridesmaids, it's just over there. There's a few others. We'd been there for a while, still no Mike. I texted him to make sure he was still coming, still no Mike. Baseball game wasn't over, no rush. Sarah was getting impatient, grabs my phone, sends another text to Mike, letting him know that his future wife was there and he should basically hurry his ass up. Despite that huge red flag, is what I would have seen, Mike still came. He got there and I made the introductions. The four of us sat down in a booth to talk, and ironically, even though Sarah had been so eager to meet Mike leading up to this, she wasn't really talking much at first. She's kind of like a deer in the headlights. Our friend Jessica was making most of the small talk and trying to keep the conversation going. This went on for a little bit until Sarah just excused herself to go to the ladies' room and asked if Jessica would join her. Now, I can't confirm this, because I obviously wasn't in the ladies' room, but apparently once in the bathroom, Sarah threatened Jess with physical violence if she didn't back off of Mike. Yeah, she had decided Mike was hers, and that was it. So on a side note, this became a common theme while Mike and Sarah were dating. About a week later, Sarah was telling her other friend, Lisa, who went to school with us, that she had a new guy in her life named Mike. And Lisa happened to know Mike when he used to work at the firm that her mother worked at. As soon as Lisa essentially mentioned this, Sarah's happy-go-lucky attitude came very serious and I think very dark, and told Lisa to stay away from Mike. Now, I'm paraphrasing, because apparently the exact words that Sarah used, I'm not going to say on camera. There's some kids here, but essentially, stay away from Mike. I've seen some pretty strong reactions from Sarah anytime she thought another girl might be hitting on Mike. So, fair warning to all the ladies out here tonight, if you were thinking of asking Mike to dance, I would clear that with Sarah first. Wedding dress or not, she will throw down in the middle of this dance floor if you look at him funny. Probably. Anyway, the night seemed like a real success, and I felt like Mike and Sarah really hit it off. Any doubts I might have had about this, those were quickly dispelled over the next few days as I spent the entire weekend on the phone with the two of them, texting and calling back and forth with them. It was ridiculous. Did he say anything about me? Did she say anything about me? What do you think? Do you think he likes me? Do you think she likes me? Do you think I should ask her out? Why the hell hasn't he asked me out yet? This literally went on for the entire weekend. I swear, and no offense to anyone, I felt like a teenage girl in high school trying to set these two up together. It was a nonstop back and forth until I finally had enough. These two were crazy about each other. I'm crazy for sure, but also about each other. Now, I don't remember what I actually said to Mike, but I finally convinced him to suck it up and give Sarah a call. They went out on their first official date shortly after that, and the rest is history. So here we are today, celebrating their marriage and the beginning of their new lives together. I'm very happy that things worked out between the two of you. Firstly, because you are both truly great people and you make a perfect couple. Secondly, because, and you guys may not remember this, the joint retainer for my matchmaking services was done on a contingency basis. So 30% of whatever's in that box out there, those envelopes, is mine. I'm kidding, of course. I don't want to give all lawyers a bad name. We are all not snakes. I love the both of you. I'll do it for 25%. Anyway, congratulations, Sarah and Mike. I wish you a long and happy life together. Cheers. So at this time, I'm going to be inviting Colton and Aubrey to come up, and they're going to be giving a speech for Mike and Sarah.
Some of you may know me, but for those who don't, I'm Colton. Sarah's one of my favorite aunts. This summer, she was home, and I got to hang out with her and have family dinners, go swimming, and lots of other fun things. She isn't an outdoorsy person, but she is great to go fishing with because she can bring the worms. I also feel bad for their future kids. I don't know how many Lysol wipes they can take, but maybe... But maybe Sarah realized not to use Lysol wipes instead of baby wipes anymore. But all that aside, she is a great aunt. P.S. Aubrey's okay. Speaking of Aubrey, do you have anything else to add?
Yes. Hi, my name is Aubrey, and I'm gonna say, Auntie Sarah, you are so pretty. Looking at you today makes me dream about being a beautiful bride like you one day. You aren't like my mom or my sister. You're more like a really good friend that I know will always take care of me. I am so lucky to have someone so smart and so hardworking as a role model and as an aunt. I am happy for you that you met someone as great as Mike, and I'm excited for your future together. Congratulations, Auntie Sarah, and welcome to the family, Uncle Mike.
Thank you, Colton and Aubrey. That was amazing. Sarah, I could do the countdown for the waterworks to start as soon as Aubrey started talking, so that was actually pretty funny. The next course is going to be coming out shortly, so hope you enjoy yourselves, and we'll be back with some more speeches in a little bit. Hello, everyone. If I could have your attention again, please. We have a little bit of time before the next course is served, so at this time, I'd like to invite up the best man, Matthew Lewis, to give his speech.
So growing up, me being 2 years younger than Mike, in high school, if you told me I would be the best man at his wedding, probably wouldn't have believed you at that point. Growing up, it was kind of contentious at that point. But throughout life, me and Mike grew closer and closer together, to the point where I consider him one of my best friends. And not only that, every one of the groomsmen here, even the couple I just met recently, I consider them my good friends too. So everyone in Mike's life generally becomes someone that I care for. So the first time I met Sarah, I expected the same out of her, and she delivered in spades. Every time I've hung out with her and and was able to talk to her. She was quick-witted and was able to keep up with everything, the trash talk, everything. She was great at all of it. But anyway, that's all I really had to say. I wanted to, on behalf of me, Daryl and Darlene, welcome you to the family.
I hope you enjoyed the ravioli. At this time, I'd like to call up the maid of honor, Jamie Moulton, to give her a speech to the bride.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jamie, and I'm Sarah's maid of honor, and the title couldn't be any more true. I am so honored to be here with my dearest friend, Sarah, and her new husband, Mike, and all of you. Sarah, you are so beautiful, smart, funny, hardworking. Did I mention beautiful? Jesus, Sarah, your handwriting is so hard to read. All of the vendors here can agree because they read your little like chicken scratch notes to decorations. So I'm just kidding. These words are entirely my own. You really are the most beautiful bride, and there is nowhere else that I would rather be than finally here tonight. Say finally for two reasons. Number one, we've been planning this for a very long time. We're so excited. Number two, the last week was quite literally a living hell. Mike can attest to that. But it was due to all of the impossible curveballs that were thrown at our bride's way, and she handled them all with grace. If you've been close to Sarah in the last week, you've seen her transform from Bridezilla to Bridechilla like 4 to 5 times and then back again. But I'm so happy to say that Bridechilla is here with us tonight. And all of the struggles that I think we overcame in the last week made today that much more precious to all of us. On behalf of Sarah and their family, Sarah, Mike, and their family, sorry, Mike, you're here too, I know. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us for this very special day from near and far. I know we have a lot of out-of-town guests, and we're so thankful that you could all be here. I've had the pleasure of knowing the bride since grade school, and I know that I speak on behalf of all of Sarah's loved ones when I say best of luck to you, Michael. Most little girls look forward to their wedding day their entire lives, but me, I have looked forward to Sarah's. So much so that I've had a Pinterest board titled Sarah's Wedding Day for just about as long as I can remember. I have known for a long time that we would all be here one day. I've planned it out in my head, rehearsed it countless times, envisioned Sarah being the exact definition of a picture-perfect bride, which of course you are. What surprised me, though, was you, Mike. Before the ring thing, you surprised me. While we all knew that Sarah would never, ever settle for less than she deserved, I never, ever could have imagined a more perfect partner for the girl that I have loved my entire life. The girl who sets goals and surpasses them, the girl whose laughter lights up our lives, and the girl who does just about anything for somebody that she loves, even if it's moving to Whitehorse. I couldn't be happier that Sarah has met her match in you, Michael. You are attentive and devoted, and please don't let her tell you otherwise. You would move mountains for her, and when I realized that, I knew that I had to finally let go of my lifelong goal of marrying Sarah myself. And accept that you would be the one that she walked down the aisle to one day, just as she did this afternoon. Sarah, however, knew that she would marry you much sooner. In fact, it was on your very first date, and it was even before her second glass of red wine. So, over the years, I have learned that Sarah is just about as loyal as a friend can get. She will always have your back. Chatting with all the guests that I've had the privilege of meeting over the course of these wedding festivities, I've heard things like, how long have you known Sarah? How did you meet the bride? And what I've learned in the answers is that Sarah has gained countless friends along the way. We've all stuck around. Well, it's not because we are great, Sarah. Well, I am, but it's because you, Sarah Hart, are a lifelong friend. Whether you met her in law school, at some random job, through Mike, or in the very first grade. She's your friend today, and she will always be there for you. And today, Mike's friends and family, I am so happy for you that you have all gained that in Sarah, a lifelong friend. Now, before I start bawling, Sarah is already, and her makeup was expensive, so we'll move on. I'm gonna wrap this up. I always plan on this speech being short and fast, probably like Michael will be later on tonight, Sarah. While I could go on and on for hours about how much the both of you mean to me, I thought that this song, don't worry, I'm not gonna sing it myself, would perfectly summarize how I feel about you both today and how I always will. I love you guys so much. Congratulations. Hey DJ, hit it.
So at this time, I'd like to invite Sarah's parents, Stephen Marie Hart, up. Or as I was politely informed, I guess Shart 1 and Shart 2. They'd like to come up and give their speech.
Hi, I'm Stephen. This is my wife, Marie. And so before I get started, I just have to kind of do a bit of a mea culpa here before I get going, because I'm 20 years in the Army and then another 17 or so as a cop. So unfortunately in that environment, or those environments, the language sometimes is a little bit salty. So I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just kind of the way it is, right, Shelley? Where's Shelley? Atta girl, she knows, right? So, and I know my grandkids are here and they're never, ever, ever exposed to any type of profanity whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is every time I'm going to use an F word that's 4 letters, I'm going to substitute and say fish instead. Yeah, good luck with that, exactly, good luck with that. So I'm incredibly proud to be up here today. You know, I've 3 grown children, Gord, and Kevin and Sarah, and you know, people come by and say, well, you've got 3 kids, they're just so well developed, they've grown up, and like, how do you do it? And then my word of advice for that, because I know there's going to be some brides-to-be, and there's some parents out here and people with younger kids, and they ask me, how do you do that, raise 3 kids who've grown up so well? And I said, there's 2 words to it. I said, what's that? I say, fish and alcohol. Right? That's, yeah. That's kind of one of those things, right? So before I talk to Sarah, I've got my kind of my notes. She said I had to speak, so I put them on the back of the card. So I'll put that down somewhere. So I just want to talk about just my kids just for a second. So my big dog, of course, is, I mean, before I talk about my family, for those who know the Hart family, and a lot of you guys over here don't, but the ones over here do know. So a lot of these jokes are kind of going to be inside jokes, like kind of that if you weren't there at the time, you wouldn't know. But we're fishing dysfunctional. We are one of those families. Yeah, hey Sarah, this is it. When you were having a barbecue and you know your brother's trying to come onto you at the table, it's like, you know, it ain't redneck, but it is a heart thing kind of thing. You know, and it's like it's just one of those things. So my big dog is of course Gord. He's my warrior son. He's heading back to Iraq in about a week or so to go do the fun stuff in the sandbox yet again. You look at him, he's hard as nails, but if you knew him, you'd know that he's as soft as puppy shit. He really is. And his wife, beautiful Tanya over there, she's over there, and she can attest to that. Right? He's absolutely just as soft as they come. But I think most soldiers actually are. But with Tanya, for those who don't know, Tanya has a twin sister. Her name is Tanka. And Tanka, sometimes when Tanka appears, she is the life of the party. So we're not sure, Tanya, is she coming tonight? Yeah. So when Tanka appears, you will know that she's in the room, right? Then we've got my grandson Colton, right? He's growing up. He's from Grandpa. You need a fish and haircut. He's on his second serious relationship, apparently. They're dating, and I don't have a fishing clue what that means. But it's about time for that talk, Mom and Dad, I think. So then there's Aubrey, and Aubrey's there. She's, sorry, Shelley. Aubrey's the most beautiful girl in the world. All right? And Aubrey was always special, and I know she was really special from a young age, because I would say, do you want to be a princess when you get, like Elsa and all that kind of stuff? She goes, no, I don't want to be a princess. I said, what do you want to be? She goes, a queen. I said, a queen? Why do you want to be a queen? She goes, they have more power. Like, yeah, that girl's going to be an astronaut. Then there's Scarlett, little Scarlett. Hey, Scarlett. Scarlett, I don't know, for those who don't know, Gordon's family are going out to Australia next June for a 3-year exchange. So Scarlett's going to stay with Grandpa and Luna. Right, baby? Huh? No, that child is evil. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's an evil child. You can ask her mother. She'll tell you that. Then we have my other big dog, Kevin. Kevin is kind of like Gordon, and yet not. Kevin, when he was a young boy, whenever he needed stuff done around the house, Kevin was always there. All the dirty stuff, all the stuff that needed to be done, mechanical stuff, digging holes in grounds, moving stuff from the basement. Gord always found reason to need to go to, had a stomach ache and had to go for number 2, And it continues to this day. Even to this day, it continues. But anyway, that's my Kevin. And then, of course, there's the lovely Marcella. And Marcella is the rock in that relationship. And when they first started going out, it's kind of like Mike and Sarah. I didn't know who was kind of in charge of that relationship. You see them and they're all lovey-dovey together, right? Kind of, right? But you don't see them behind the scenes, except when they're having an argument about suit fittings outside your bedroom door on Wednesday. I give you one fucking fishing job. But that's another story, right, sir? Yeah, that's another story. Yeah, you woke me up, Sarah. I just don't know, but you and your future husband are right outside my bedroom door, and I can hear every word you're saying. I don't. Anyways, it was something that you'd hear a sailor mention in a bar or something. So with Marcella, and I was trying to figure out that relationship between Kevin and Marcella, and it's always by example, right? It's always by example you figure out character and the way things is. So Kevin, for a number of years, I'm going to get this big dog. And it's going to be a Great Dane, and it's going to sit this tall, 5 feet tall, big ears, and it's going to have a big dog name. Its name is going to be Bernard, And Marcella's going, we're not getting a big dog. So they kept going, and if Kevin goes, I'm the man in this relationship, I'm going to show her, this, that, and the other. He's telling Gord, he's telling everybody he's going to get this 5 foot tall Great Dane, name it Bernard. So one day the two of them went to Toronto, and they're coming back, and Kevin has this kind of walk. And when you see him walk across the room, you'll see what I mean. He's not the first in his family tree to walk upright, but sometimes you kind of wonder that, that's poor Kevin, right? He just has that lope to him. But he comes in there, and he comes in the house, and Marcella's in behind him, and she's kind of like this, and I'm going like, did she bring a rat into my house? Because there's something in her hands, and I go, Marcella, what have you got? Thinking it was a mouse or a rat that she'd found on the road that was injured or something, because she's very caring like that. And she goes, no, it's a baby Yorkie. And I go, oh, and she goes, ask Kevin what his name is. And I says, Kevin, what's his name? And he goes, Bernard. So actions speak louder than words, right? You got to give it. Yeah, that's just the way it is. I mean, they've got a lovely son, Diego. Diego right now is in angel mode. Diego has 2 modes. When he's sleeping, he's angel mode. Then as soon as he's awake, it goes to terrorist mode, right? And he's just going 1,000 miles an hour in every direction, but he's a lovely boy, right? Very, very considerate. I think you guys saw reflections of that today. And then it brings me to Sarah. But you know what? Before I talk about Sarah, I'll talk about Mike. So I know nothing about Mike other than the loving things that Sarah says. Tell me about Mike. I don't know anything about Mike. He comes from Funda Bay. I don't know anything that comes from Funda Bay other than iron ore, right? And he goes, no, he's loving, he's compassionate, he's this, he's that. He's always very, very polite, and he blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, but tell me something about his character. And she goes, well, Dad, he's really loving, and he's nice, and he's intelligent. And I go, and again, actions speak louder than words. So about 2 months ago, Jamie, you were part of this. Jamie had a mattress at her house that Sarah wanted and Mike wanted down at their house. But I have a pickup truck with a cover on the back. And Mike doesn't. His pickup truck is open. So what he does is, Sarah, Mike, hey, can we borrow your pickup truck? I'm thinking, well, here's a perfect opportunity. I'm going to give my future son-in-law an opportunity to just borrow my stuff, just so I've got a degree of trust with him. So I lend him my truck. A month and a half later, it was all arranged a month and a half later because they were down doing the Hamilton stuff and lawyer stuff, all that kind of stuff. So they were doing that. So they brought the truck back late Friday night and they're asleep. And next morning I had a course to do. So I had this big projector screen that I had to put in the back of my truck. And my truck's there, so I put it in. And of course, when I give Mike the truck, I being the good father-in-law, here's the truck, Mike, full tank of gas, enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. So next thing you know, I go out to start the car after putting the projector screen in the back. I start the engine, you got the little display, right? 23 kilometers to empty. And a $45 ETR toll charge. So, if they ever wrote a book, How to Endear Yourself to Your Future Father-in-Law, that's probably not in the top 10, Mike. That's probably not there. That's probably not there. So, just a minute. Yeah, so, 1 second. Oh, yeah, Sarah. I knew I'd forgot a kid. Yeah. So, Sarah's always been my little princess. She has always been my princess. If you go on my phone right now, you'll see her number. It's Princess. That's always what she's always been. That's why sometimes when we talk on the phone, that's what I call her, my princess. But ever since she was very, very small, I always knew she was going to be a lawyer. She's very intelligent. She has the ability to look you in the eye and lie to you. And she has absolutely no common sense. I mean, if you had to do that Star Wars talk to Yoda thing, the lawyer DNA is strong in this one. That's, I think, what Yoda would say. So, it's by example that you get these kind of things. And I knew, when Sarah, she was probably about 17 or 18, you can see that Sarah and Tanya look similar. But Tanya, of course, is several years older. I won't get into that, Tanya, I won't tell them. Several years older than Sarah is. So what I would do is, every so often I'd come into Sarah's room, and she's 17, 18, and I'd find Tanya's driver's license on her bedside table. I say, Sarah, why is Tanya's license on your bedside table? And she'd go, oh, yeah, she dropped it in my car. I guess I'll give it back to her. I forgot. So I go, okay. And then about 2 or 3 weeks later, there it is again, driver's license, And I say, why is it? Oh, I bought her shirt, and I guess I didn't want to put it in the wash, so I guess. And I'm thinking, how could you be so frickin', fishing stupid that you're looking me in the eye, telling me bald-faced slaves, but you got no common sense or intelligence to realize that I'm a cop. I can tell these things. In the cop world, this is known as a clue, So anyway, I figure, you know what, I'm kind of annoyed at this now because you've got your daughter who's 17, 18 years old using her your daughter-in-law at the time, her sister-in-law's ID card to get into bars, of course, 18 in Quebec, right? So I knew what they were up to. So I said, one night there, Emma, where's Emma? Where's that beautiful Emma? So, Emma, you were part of this. You were thrown on the bus on this one, girl. So what happens is, Sarah says, you know, I'm sitting down at the couch Friday, Saturday night. I can't remember which day of the week it was. And Sarah's there, and she says, I said, where you going, babe? Oh, I'm going over to Emma's place. We're going to watch videos. We have popcorn. We're going to sleep over. So I go, oh, okay, that's excellent, good. And I'm going, you lying little friggin' fishing daughter of mine. So she takes off, you know, it's about 11 o'clock. So I know where Emma lives, or where she used to live. So I drive over to Greeley, park my car right outside Emma's house, and Sarah's car's not there. So, Sarah, how are you doing tonight? Oh, good, Dad. Emma and I are watching movies. Oh, that's nice. What movie are you watching? And she just, oh, we're just watching this. We're just about to go to bed. Oh, good. I've just got a question I need to ask you before you go to bed. Yes, Daddy. You know, of course, yes, Daddy. What is it? Well, sir, it's kind of personal. Can you come outside? I want to talk to you about it. She goes, are you really outside? We'll talk in the morning. So again, perfect lawyer material, right? She's smart enough to use that fake ID, but not smart enough to understand common sense would say, your dad's going to figure this out eventually. And then she goes to law school. And the first semester when she was in law school, she didn't have a car up there. So she's staying away out. What was the address of your, Sarah, do you remember? Sarah, I'm going to make it up. I'm going to call it was like First in Richmond or something like that. So she doesn't have a car, but they give her a bus pass. So she's got a bus pass, you know, and Sarah, girl of the world, she's driving the bus. So first time ever been on the bus. So again, she gets on the bus, you know, backstage pass, bus pass, goes by, says to the bus driver, First in Richmond, please. And the bus driver's going like, you know, so she's driving the bus and she tells me the story. She goes, so I'm sitting there on the bus and I'm watching all these people in the bus, and what they're doing is they're pulling this cable and it goes ding ding and they're getting up and getting off. And I go, yeah? And she goes, but then the bus driver comes to my stop and goes right by it. And I said, yeah? She goes, so I go up to the front to the bus driver, hey, that was my bus stop back there. And he goes, First in Richmond. And he goes, well, why didn't you ring the bell like everybody else? And she goes, oh, is that how it works? I mean, intelligent, but no freaking fishing common sense, you know? And then the best one, though, I only one more, Sarah, promise. The best one was she wants to have home-style food because she found out the $1.47 dinners that you could buy at, you know, a giant Tiger and just stick in the microwave or whatever, that they weren't really cutting it. So she says, I want some soup. So she's going to have squash soup, right? So she's going to make homemade squash soup. So she goes into Sobeys or wherever it was and sees this big open, you know, on the fruit, you know, on the vegetables and stuff, carbonates, and there's all these, you know, squash there. And she sees the label there, 99 cents. So she's told me the story after. She goes, and I'm looking at all these people, all these fools. They're looking at the squash, and they're all picking the small ones. And I think, what a bunch of morons. Why don't they just pick the biggest one? And then, if you're not going to use it all, just throw it out, but at least you got the biggest one. So anyway, she's got all of her groceries, you know, first time girl, you know, doing all of her grocery shopping and stuff. And so she's got it, and she goes through, and she's watching her money, she's watching the cash, and, you know, the squash comes up to $17.47 or something like that. And she says to the young cashier working there, she goes, excuse me, he says, is that squash $17.49? And the young girl, you know, 16 years old says, yes, ma'am. She goes, oh, that's terribly expensive. You know, the label said 99 cents. And the kid goes, yeah, a kilo. And Sarah, of course, being a lawyer, now she's got a license. Yeah, I just know, but it's in Ottawa it's like 39 cents, and I thought that was an excessively expensive, you know, squash. So yeah, I'll take that. Well, so you know, though she's grown up, everything she's done on her own. She's worked hard. You know, my princess. She's now Mike's wife, but you know, baby, you'll always be my princess.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, Mike, the family heart, on your mom, your dad et your brother. And Sarah, je suis fière de toi, que tu as travaillé bien, que tu es un avocat. Je suis très contente. Et aussi, je veux dire quelque chose à Tania. Merci beaucoup que tu as fait beaucoup de choses pour Sarah, pour la préparation de mariage. Merci beaucoup, Tania. Et tu me manques beaucoup quand tu vas en Australie. Et aussi, Jimmy, your best friend à Sarah. Thank you very, very much to do everything pour Sarah, the wedding. Thank you very much. And I love everybody.
Thank you very much, Stephen Marie. At this time, I'd like to call up Sarah's brothers, Kevin and Gord.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm Gord. It's my brother Kevin. We're Sarah's older brothers. I just want to take a minute right now and just look at how beautiful she is tonight. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. But this is enough about Mike's mother. It's not about her. It's about my sister Sarah tonight. It's not about her. It's about my sister Sarah.
Even from a young age, we knew Sarah was going to do a job that something to do with arguing.
Honestly, it was literally nonstop. She once tried to explain to us that the song Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy, the word she was using was, it's so adios. And we explained to her that it was obviously, or obvious. And she argued and argued and argued. And to this day, she still thinks she's right.
And if anybody has ever been to a Hart family dinner, well, then they know the extent of Sarah's arguing, to the point of the family dinners getting ruined. Mike, I feel just, well, kind of scared for you. She's like, actually,
a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. That's what she is. She's a sweetheart. But there's nothing more as brothers than we love doing than was tormenting Sarah. So why not stop tonight? She didn't want to give us the mic tonight because she was afraid of us embarrassing her. But the truth is, she can handle that by herself.
Gord, do you remember when she smashed her face on the front landing and lost her front tooth?
Yeah, I do remember that. She lost her front tooth. And my parents, God bless them all, we used to call her Chomper. And she used to run around. This was when the 90s movie Land Before Time, and she used to pretend she was a chomper. She'd run around pretending to bite people and like actually literally hurting people. And then she met her first boyfriend, a guy named Wally, who used to hide cheese in his underpants and then share it with Sarah.
Gord, do you remember the blanket?
I do remember the blanket. Sarah had this loving blanket that she would carry with her everywhere she went. But as big brothers, we decided it would make a lot more sense if we took this blanket, and my dad, for some reason, used to have these polar bear skins with the mouth wide open and these wolf skins with the mouth wide open. And Sarah was scared of animals. Weird. She moved to Yukon. It's kind of weird. But we used to take the blanket and shove it inside of the wolf's mouth, of the polar bear's mouth, and she'd be freaking out.
Or the time she tried to jump off the garage into the pool but chickened out and fell and broke her ankle.
Yeah, I guess that brings up a pretty good point. Anybody could be a lawyer. Look, Riam's a lawyer, Jess is a lawyer, Sarah's a lawyer, fuck, even Mike's a lawyer.
You were saying something?
Oh yeah, sorry man. I thought they were smarter than us, but fuck, maybe they're not.
But to be completely honest, we couldn't be more proud of you. We missed you when you went away to Thunder Bay, even if it was just to become a receptionist.
Like seriously though, first Hart to go to university, it's pretty impressive. Sometimes when we're at family dinner, she uses big words that sound more photosynthesis than us. So I know there was a joke earlier about her login name being Shart. We all got that, Shart 3. There was 3 other Sharts before her. Now, as brothers, we missed a golden opportunity because we were so stupid we didn't even know that it would be Shart. Like, we were that dumb. But now, we've grown up a little bit. We're a little bit more mature. We both got kids. We're a little smarter now today. But now we realize she's moving from a Shart to a slew. Yes.
All right. Sarah, all jokes aside, we wish you the best in your marriage and have hopefully learned from my mistakes, but mostly my brother's.
Definitely no shortage of mistakes on this side here, boys. But Kev, that being said, Mike, I want to welcome you to the family. And we love Sarah. We love her more than anything. We'd do anything for her. So before you marry her, we just want to let you know one thing.
So unfortunately, we forgot our speech. Yeah, just like the rings. But
took that one away, Gordon.
Yeah. We just want to say thank you to everyone that came out. We know that these have been really trying times, and we really appreciate everyone that has made an effort to come out here. It truly means a lot to Mike and I. A lot of people have traveled very far to be here from Whitehorse.
Yeah.
And Whitehorse over there.
We missed all you guys.
But unfortunately, Whitehorse people, someone's got you beat. And that person is right over here. She's traveled all the way from the UK to come to my wedding, to come to our wedding.
All right, yeah.
And she's got you beat. But anyways, yeah. I mean, you traveled first class, so I mean, calm down, Natasha. But anyways, we really, really appreciate everyone that, came out here. It really meant a lot to both Mike and I, and words can never explain our gratitude for everyone today. And we're so excited, and I'm so happy that you shared in this moment with us. It truly means a lot. And thank God, Darlene, you decided to wear your wedding ring because you saved the day. We have to give that back to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you really helped us out there.
Yeah, it means a lot. We've been away for close to 3 years out in Whitehorse, and we really missed everyone from back around here. So it's really great to see you guys again more frequently. And for the Whitehorse people, we'll be back out for Haynes Beer Festival for sure. Yeah, can't wait. For sure. And I just want to say to the Hart family, you're a cast of characters, and I love you for it. Thank you for welcoming to your family.
And yeah, and I also wanted to just add to that comment, to the Lewis family as well. Words can't ever I can never put this into a coherent sentence, just because I can't pronounce anything. But I really appreciate you guys taking me in as one of your own and as a daughter, and that truly means a lot to me. And you guys have been so sweet and so kind and saw past my craziness, and it still accepted me as a daughter, and I really appreciated that. And Mike and I are just so excited to just spend the rest of our lives together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's put a dent in this open bar, all right?
Yeah. So if you guys, the Belvedere would hate for us to say this, but kind of keep drinking, guys. But
okay.
And that's it.
Cheers.
Cheers.